Hi everyone, this tutorial is going to be how to make a flipbook animation, and I begin with index cards, and as of right now I have no idea what I'm going to draw. This is going to start randomly, and you begin with the right side of the card or paper. If you're going to flip it from the right, then you draw on half of the card that's on the right side. If you're right-handed, you'll be flipping with your right thumb. Remember to draw on the left side if you're left-handed, and you'll be flipping from the left side. So I had an idea of a flower in my mind. So I started to draw the ground and brought the leaf, the little sprout coming out of the ground. And at first I thought it might look like a worm coming out of the ground. But then I thought I will continue with the flower and see how that works out. I'll do a few pages, flip it a little bit to see what it will look like. And it's always a good idea to stop, flip every 10 pages or so to see if it's going in the direction that you like, or if you have to add anything in or take anything away. If you're a beginner to flip books, one suggestion is to number your pages as you go along, just until you get the hang of it so that you don't get your pictures all mixed up. But here I am making the leaves a little bigger as if they were growing. I'm not really moving it anywhere. I am just increasing the size. Oh, and by the way, I number my pages on the bottom left corner where I'll be holding it or putting the clip to hold the papers together or the cards together. Whichever you use. You can use paper cut to the same size, or you can use index cards, or you can use sticky notes. Sticky notes are thinner. You can see through it. It might make it a little easier for somebody who doesn't have a light source. But when I use index cards, I use this tracer, a light tracer that I have, and it works perfectly. Usually, the hardest part of any stop motion or animation or any art project that I do is the idea and just getting started. And I was going for a ride today. Didn't have any idea. I knew I wanted to make a flip book, but I had no idea what I wanted to draw. And I just told myself, just take out the cards, start videotaping, and just draw something. And when you draw something, I guarantee you the ideas will come to your mind. And it happens every time. Even for my stop motions, I have no idea how I'm going to begin, but I just start with something. One time I went to the drawer, my junk drawer, I pulled out a pair of pliers. I drew the pair of pliers, and I continued a stop motion from an animated pair of pliers. It actually turned out to be one of my most favorite stop motions I ever created. So just a little bit of advice, just sit down and just get started. Here I wasn't sure if I wanted to have a butterfly or a bee come in for the flower. I wanted something else to move. So you can see I'm drawing the bee and just moving it about a 1/4 inch, maybe less. In between 1/8 and a 1/4 inch, I am moving it along with the little dotted lines behind it. And at this point, I'm just tracing the flower without increasing it or moving it at all. The bee is what's in motion now. So as I'm drawing the bee and having the bee move across the paper, I'm thinking of having the bee move off of the paper and to have a butterfly come in from the other side. But I've now decided to flip the bee upside down in a little circle, take the flower out, increase the bee's size as though he's closer to me, and also to give the bee his own spotlight in the animation just by himself a little bit. Here I'm bringing in the butterfly. The bee is going to go off out of the picture, and now the butterfly has the spotlight. When I was drawing the flowers, bringing the flowers back into the picture, I was thinking ahead and thinking I would like more color in the animation, so I added in a few more extra flowers on the bottom with the original flower. And here you can see as a little practice run. Animation has always been so fascinating to me for my whole life, even when I was a kid. And I used to love the Give a Show projector. Also the ViewMaster. But the Give a Show projector and the ViewMaster were both just slides. I love that. I love both of those, but I really loved it when I saw the little movie projector, toy movie projector that had moving cartoons. I never owned one of those, so I used to try to make my own. I couldn't figure it out, but now that I know how to do stop motions and my own little animations, I think I'm reliving my childhood and I'm having so much fun with this. Here I'm testing it again to see how the bee is going to move across the paper. I'm really happy with the way it's turning out. Looking forward to putting the color into it. It takes so long to color, but it's very relaxing. Just like all the adult coloring books that are on the market now. I am assuming that is a very therapeutic activity, but here I'm putting in the butterfly. Just needed something else for movement, and I'm not sure how well it's going to look, but I'm trying to have his wings open and close. Every art project is a learning experience, and I'm still learning with every project. Here I'm numbering the cards because I didn't number them as I went along, so I've finished the drawings. I'm going to number all of them now. An extra hint to help your animation flow better, it's hard to do the flip book when you get to the end of the animation, so if you add 4 or 5 extra blank cards at the end, it gives you something to hang on to for the end, so it's a little more smooth. Here I'm going to start adding the color. This is fun. It starts out really fun, but it gets a little boring when you're coloring the same picture over and over and over. Also, I would say that I think the coloring takes twice as long as the drawing. To speed things up a little bit, I videotaped this on time lapse, and you can almost see the animation moving as I'm coloring it. This would also be a fun way to spend some time with somebody, and you color all the pictures together. The only thing is make sure your pictures are numbered, so in case they get out of order, you'll be able to put them easily back into order. Making a stop motion or flipbook animation is a great way to make your creativity flow, and I have a quote here that says, "Creativity is not about perfection. It is about expressing and nurturing your spirit. Be creative." And that's by Garth Catterall Hart. Cartoons, stop motions, flipbook animations, they're all easy ways to be creative. They're very forgiving, and as the pages flip or the cells in cartoons flip, or as you're moving your stop motion, your objects around, it's very hard to make a mistake. I challenge you to even take a sticky note pad and just try moving a ball or a stick or a line along the pages and just see how fun and how easy it is. If you think you're not an artist and that you won't be able to do this, I challenge you, because you don't need to be an artist to make a flipbook animation. You can just move a ball or a stick figure and move the legs and wave the arms, and you will be amazed at what you can create. Here the bee is flying out of the picture and the butterfly is flying in. The butterfly will be waving his wings, opening and closing his wings. Not waving them, but opening and closing them as he floats along, and he will land on the flower. And I just thought that this was a really nice ending to the animation and to bring in a little bit more color. I will show you the flip through of this flipbook animation, and I will also show you the first flipbook animation that I made. I would really like to know if you like this sort of video, if you would like tutorials on flipbook or stop motions. Let me know, and I would really like to know what you would all like to see. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you have an awesome 2020, and I will see you in the next video.